terrific all year long, 19 of his 22 in the second half of the Privateers win. And he has the basketball now as we're underway at Lakefront Arena. And Presbyterian in the man-to-man defense as they normally are. Privateers going with the same lineup they started yesterday. Here's St. Hilaire on the baseline, probing and bringing it back out. And Tyson Jackson, who was huge yesterday for New Orleans with 16 points, gets the ball inside and fouled underneath the rim. And even though Presbyterian's a physical front court, UNO has the advantage in size, starting with Jackson, the transfer from Middle Tennessee.
Yeah, Tyson Jackson need to own that paint today. You got two teams that's very athletic, but they went right inside off a flare screen for St. Hilaire. That was a good post feed inside to Tyson Jackson for a strong move, which got him on the free throw line.
He played just 22 minutes yesterday as the Privateers were able to rest their starters into the second half after the big early run to lead by as many as 30. But he was 5 of 6 shooting from the floor, 11 points, 5 rebounds, and he's clearly the go-to option down low for New Orleans and getting his opportunities and taking full advantage of them after not playing for a very successful program the past couple of years, although he's not able to cash in here on the free throws, and Presbyterian will get their first possession of the game.
Yeah, Tyson takes up a lot of room inside. He's a big, strong, physical post player. He's got to use that, bring that physicality to the court today because he's playing against a very good front court in Presbyterian College.
And we see what Presbyterian does as Younger missed the baseline jumper. That they had a second chance at it, but not able to put it in. Kobe Stewart. They've out-rebounded teams on the offensive glass so far through 5 games by 9 per contest. That's awfully impressive as the inbounds deflected by Younger, so UNO will work it in on the sideline.
Well, offensive rebounding is who wants it the most. Those guys are jumping on pogo sticks. You've got to keep the body on them and keep them as far away from the glass as possible, because if not, they're going to make their offense their best offense by getting second and third shots.
St. Hilaire trying to dish down low to Jackson, who's double teamed down deep, gives it back up to the Privateer graduate senior guard, and UNO will reset inside 10 on the shot clock. High screen for St. Hilaire, lefty dribble down low, again double team, finds a teammate Deshaun Allen Eikens, who misses the open 3, and the board cleared by Younger and the Blue Hose, who will quickly work it the other way. They've struggled in the half-court offense shooting the basketball, so they like to run, but somebody who can score in the paint is Winston Hill, their second leading scorer, with the pretty turnaround jumper.
Yeah, they're shooting 34% from the field as a team.
And UNO turning the ball over there. The careless turnovers, sort of a problem late in the first half for the Privateers. And for Presbyterian, though, they do put a lot of pressure on the basketball and try to make you work for every shot.
Yeah, well, Presbyterian is a good defensive team as well, but it comes down to the war of wills. What team want to make sure they put a signature defensively on their opponent.
Trevon Reddish, Roan had the basketball a moment ago, had 10 all in the first half yesterday, and now Hill once again tries to fade away, doesn't get it. Offensive rebound 1 and 2. The second one tapped in as Kobe Stewart converted that one. And we see the MO for the Blue Hose right away as they lead 4-0, 17:45 mark first half. High-low quickly on the feed, Kirkland. Jackson not able to get off a clean shot, well defended, and Winston Hill with the rebound for Presbyterian. Other way with it, Reddish trying to attack the smaller St. Hilaire, fighting to keep the basketball in the end. Finds Stewart open, left wing for 3 off target, and the over-the-back call will go against Younger and Presbyterian.
Well, that's what you got to do today is keep them on your back, because Presbyterian does a good job of pursuing the rebound. They're very active on the glass. And one thing you got to do if you're UNO is be very determined not to allow second and third shots today.
Haven't seen much from Rashawn Harrison so far, but scored 22 yesterday, and he'll see the ball a lot as this game progresses. UNO looking to get it down low, and they go the other way with the forwards high-low, but the miss by Kirkland on the turnaround. Another chance to run, but the Privateers back well defensively, and the Blue Hose will work in the half court with Reddish. Reddish got enough length to try to post up and sees the opportunity and misses. Another chance for an offensive rebound as the Privateers fight for it. And St. Hilaire against Stewart. It goes off of Presbyterian.
Well, for the Privateers, this can continue to give second and third shots. If that happens, you're going to come up short. So they got to shut that second and third shot attempt down, because all you're doing is giving your opponent a second opportunity to score.
And Robbie Robinson, who didn't start yesterday because of a tender foot, feeling better today and coming off the bench for Kirkland. He's UNO's most versatile inside defender and a really good rebounder. So needing him on the floor early as Presbyterian doing what they need to do to win, imposing their will on the glass to an early 4-0 lead as the Privateers 0 for 3 shooting. Here is Alan Eikens passing off to Jamel Myers, a 4-year Privateer out of Cape Coral, Florida, pacing it back to St. Hilaire. St. Hilaire will pull up and have his jumper deflected, and he's knocked to the floor and fouled. 3 free throws coming the way of Derek St. Hilaire, and he will take shots like that.
Yeah.
And defenders know they have to close out, that time a little bit too close by Reddish.
Well, you got to give him special attention, touch him up every now and then, but one thing you can't do is foul the jump shooter. That's one of the worst things you can do defensively. But you definitely got to make sure you keep the balls out of his hand as much as possible.
St. Hilaire just outside the top 20 in the country in scoring early on at 21.6 per game, and been an excellent foul shooter so far as he makes the first of 2. 13 of 14 at the line. And the sweet stroke is there again as the Privateers are on the board. And another to come as another spark plug for New Orleans yesterday in their big victory over Central Arkansas. Rodney Carson out of Philadelphia, the junior, had 9 points all in the first half. Third free throw good, and St. Hilaire makes the Blue Hose pay for the foul on the 3. 4-3 early on at the Lakefront, 16:23 mark. Glad you could join us on ESPN Plus and the Privateer Sports Network on Thanksgiving Day. Here is Harrison. First time we've seen him look to attack the lane, but passes into the corner to Reddish, left side, who looks to drive on St. Hilaire again. Dishes down low to Winston Hill. Reverse won't go, tap, follow again. Offensive rebound, and Kobe Stewart with 3 early offensive boards and 2 putbacks.
Yeah, Kobe Stewart is very active on the glass between him and Winston Hill, as well as Rayshawn Harrison. You got some guys that yeoman rebounders.
Myers able to come up with an offensive board after the missed free throw line jumper by Robinson. Another chance for UNO here. And to the hole, here's Troy Green, who's tied up as he tried to launch in the paint with the shot, and the arrow will go the way of Presbyterian. And the visitors in this UNO Classic off to a good start this afternoon with a 6-3 lead over New Orleans as we take the time out on the Privateer Sports Network and ESPN Plus. Coach, but 8 rebounds, including 4 already on the offensive glass.
Yeah, they're doing it the old-fashioned way. I miss one, I'll go get it and put it back. But it's not always the initial shot that beats you. Sometimes the shots that follows, and Presbyterian is proving that right now.
Their one true center, Owen McCormick, in the game and trying to feed the post, but an offensive foul is called on the push-off by Reddish. And we can see the game plan of trying to attack Derek St. Hilaire, Coach, is the starting backcourt in particular of 3 guards, 6'4", 6'4", 6'6". They see the height advantage, and they're trying to make it happen for them in the lane against the UNO leading scorer.
Yeah, well, that's a good game plan, them coming in with. But Coach Quentin Furl is in his 3rd year at Presbyterian, and he's doing a fine job in this conference. Big South is a good conference, and he's doing a good job as a young coach.
Green has his pocket picked by one of the substitutes during the timeout, Kiershawn Thrash, and UNO not getting in rhythm offensively early as the big man McCormick, who can handle out top, gives it to the dynamic Harrison. Matched up with Carson, that'll be a fun one when it happens during the game. Passed out of the lane, and here is Thrash for the pull-up mid-range jumper, and a swish for him, so he's made an impact right away on both ends of the floor. 8-3 Blue Hose lead the Privateers 14-40 and counting first half.
Yeah, well, UNO's got to get something going to the rim. He did and got fouled. So glad to see them to stay in attack mode.
Troy Green, who's really good off the bounce, able to penetrate into traffic and tried to scoop it up and in down low and got the whistle. Green off of a very good performance yesterday, 16.7 rebounds and 4 assists for him. And Troy, who's in his 6th year with the program, he's certainly developed into one of the better all-around players, a preseason All-Southland Conference performer at guard, and a guy who sometimes gets off to slow starts in games, so it's good to see him looking to make something happen early with the Privateers trailing by 5 before the first free throw. And Troy, an excellent foul shooter, makes them both.
UNO definitely have the right guy at the free throw line, shooting over 80% from the free throw line, and he's got to continue to attack. That's what he does well, or we give him that 1-2 dribble pull-up, which he's very good at.
Carson went for the steal, now gets some help as Harrison cut off at the foul line by Robinson. With 12 on the shot clock, UNO really aggressive on the ball on the perimeter here. And in trouble, Graham nearly throws it away. It's saved by Ard on the sideline, and UNO off to the races with the loose ball, but the runner won't go over the rim by St. Hilaire. Thrashed the other way, 4-on-4 for the moment. Robinson, late whistle, looked like he got all ball, but a foul will be called in the lane.
Well, speaking of whistles, our officials today is Jeff Malcolm, Danny Chance, and Adrian Jude. Those guys have called in the Southland Conference. They're very familiar with the New Orleans Privateers, but they do a good job officiating.
Thrash misses the first of 2 foul shots here. And that was his first free throw attempt of the season. Interestingly, though, for Thrash yesterday, a big three-pointer after missing his first 13 on the year. He hit a corner 3 to give Presbyterian a 5-point lead with a minute and a half to go, and that wound up being the final margin against VMI. So maybe that big shot giving him a little extra confidence after a cold shooting start to the year.
Jude, the law averages say you're going to make one eventually after taking about 13, 14 shots. Couldn't have come at a better time.
So the math in his favor. Analytics, they call that, Coach.
Yeah.
Can't ignore it. 9-5, Presbyterian with the lead as UNO will kick it into the corner to Carson. Really good defense around the lane.
Good ball fake.
But a great ball fake indeed, but the missed jumper from 16 by Green. That's the shot he wanted. Yeah. Daniel Sackey defending Thrash here, who had 10 points off the bench yesterday for New Orleans. His best shooting game as a Privateer. Down deep, Graham creates an open jumper for Ard that's nearly an air ball, and right place, right time for another Blue Hose offensive board is Graham. They didn't reset the shot clock, although I thought it might have grazed the rim. Thrash will have to launch one, and it's short. Another offensive board, this time Graham coming up with a second long rebound, and Presbyterian just has a nose for those rebounds off the rim. Trap up top, Carson deflects it into the backcourt, Blue Hose recover. Now McCormick will drive inside the arc and kick to the right wing for 3, missed by Thrash, and finally the Privateers able to come up with the basketball. Sackey up ahead, Carson pull up J, no good from 15, foul will go against Robinson and UNO.
Yeah, well, you've got to finish your defense with the rebound. The Privateers not throwing enough bodies, not being physical enough. Presbyterian is living off of second shots right now. But you have definitely got to shut that part of the game down because Presbyterians are a very dangerous team when they're offensive rebounding.
Kirkland back in for New Orleans, the big 6'10" forward, along with Kamani Dowdy making his first appearance, 6'5", redshirt freshman out of Brooklyn, New York. Trying to find the right combinations of the Privateers early, much deeper than the Blue Hose. Harrison trying to attack for the first time and shows you what a finisher he is. First bucket for the outstanding sophomore. 11-5, Presbyterian leads New Orleans. 12-14 and counting opening half. UNO yet to hit from the field as Green, left side, will try to drive again. Pulls up in the lane, no look pass, and Kirkland lays it in.
Yeah, that was a good job by Troy Green. Penetrating, draw a defender to him in the post, and he dumped it down to Simeon Kirkland. He finished the play.
So Green being assertive here, getting the Privateers their first bucket from the floor, 11-7. Blue Hose with the lead and the basketball. McCormick put it in the hands of Graham. Goes into the paint, and on the pass, he's fouled. Just getting inside the paint there as he beat Saki off the dribble. UNO just with their third.
On the court during Thanksgiving. So I'm going with a stuffing that goes through the rim. How about a good dunk?
Stewart missing a couple of shots there. Another pair of offensive rebounds for Presbyterian. They're not stuffing, but they're hustling are the Blue Hose, dominating the offensive glass. 8 and counting already for the nation's best on the offensive boards. McCormick up top here going back door, and Harrison would have had an easy bucket, but went through his hands to the Privateers. Green, again trying to force the issue in the paint, draws the defense and kicks to Saki, who drives baseline right, loses it. Follow, though, Kirkland his second field goal. The only person to make shots from the floor so far down low, Simeon Kirkland for New Orleans to draw within 2.
Simeon's length can cause some problems for this team, but this is a signature test for both teams today.
Presbyterian so battle-tested early on, giving the Privateers all they can handle, and that time Harrison fouled on the pull-up jumper at the foul line by Green. Green, UNO's best defender most of the time. We'll see the matchup with Harrison, who gets to the line an awful lot, Coach. A guy scoring 20.6 a game and playing heavy minutes, and he's already 25 of 29 on the season through 5 games at the stripe.
And boy, does he play the bulk of the minutes for that team. He's averaging 38 minutes out of 40 per game, so he doesn't come out very often. Bell is going to have to really deny him from catching that ball.
St. Hilaire in for Green, and McCormick, the big man, out, and Winston Hill back in for the Blue Hose. And Harrison looked like he was letting the game come to him in the first 4 minutes, but starting to want the basketball and make things happen with it as he makes both foul shots. 13-9 Presbyterian on top, despite 29% shooting, but they've won 3 games this year shooting 34.5% because they're so good on the glass and very good defensively in the half court, as the Privateers have seen. Kirkland, the hot hand, gets the post feed, jump hook with the right, gorgeous.
That's a nice jump hook inside, but getting back to Rayshawn Harrison, you got to keep him off the free throw line. He's making 86% of his attempts.
And the freshman of the year in the Big South, the last season, first team preseason all-league, and around the screen, he'll try to hit the 3 off target, and Kirkland able to clear the board for New Orleans. Saki looking down low this time for Jackson, knocked away from him by Hill, and out of bounds on the baseline. And against a team like the Blue Hose, when you have your bigs running the floor, you want to try to reward them when they get deep position like that.
Absolutely. The psychology of a big man, if he's catching that ball in the post or on a rim run, he score a little bit, he'll rebound a little bit more for you.
Carson checks back in for UNO as St. Hilaire will trigger on the baseline and around the screen. What a good play, and the miss on the layup by Saki, but he doesn't give up on it, fights for the rebound, dishes to Kirkland, who puts it up and in.
That's good energy, Saki.
Veteran player, the Canadian out of Winnipeg, and a Valpo transfer, and a natural point guard who didn't get down on himself after missing the shot, gets the steal and the assist. Now Hill has it knocked away momentarily, passing it off to Graham. Zeb Graham up top. St. Hilaire getting in his grill. Privateers ramping up the defense here in the half court.
If you can cause a team to initiate their offense that far from the bucket, you're doing a pretty good job, but that's a great block by Simeon.
Simeon Kirkland saves the day as it looked like Stewart had a chippy, but erased and knocked into the UNO bench. Blue Hose will have to work it in the corner with just 4 to shoot.
That's a tough spot to inbound the ball.
Graham trying to do so, finds Harrison. I don't think he realizes it with the shot clock. Now he does, around 2 Privateers, and what a finish. Soft in the lane. Harrison, that's the guy you want to have it when you need a shot quickly, and Harrison starting to heat up. He's got 6 points on 2 of 3 shooting.
Yeah, he made a tough shot with the clock running down, but he got good touch. But that was a nice runner by Harrison.
Up to St. Hilaire near half court, dribbling near side. Jackson wants it down low, and the hot pass knocked away by Hill. As good position there for Jackson, and he's going to be a load for Winston Hill to handle. Clearly got the size advantage on a pretty good player in Hill, who's averaging 11.4 points and over 8 rebounds per contest. Outlet to half court, a jump ball that's won by Graham, and he should have an easy layup the other way. Carson able to affect it, but there's Stewart on the glass again, running the floor with the follow.
Too many offensive rebounds that the Privateers are giving up.
Over the top, Jackson can't control it. Graham picks up the loose ball and takes off the other way. 17-13, Blue Hose with the lead, and a foul is called on the floor against Rodney Carson. A frustrating type of team to play against, these Blue Hose, because they hustled every spot.
Yeah. What it comes down now is can the Privateers pass the competitive eye test? That's what it's going to come down to as we finish out this first half.
Certainly being challenged early by a confident ball club, including Harrison, who feeds Hill. Reverse layup won't go, though, as he beat Kirkland on the baseline. Privateers a chance to run. Sackey to the trailer. Allen Eikens, who looks to drive, dishes back to Kirkland. Another soft touch, this time from 10, middle of the lane.
I really like what Simeon Kirkland is doing in that paint. He's using his length, and Presbyterian doesn't have anybody that matches up with him.
5 of 6 from the floor, and in double figures with 10. And keeping UNO right with Presbyterian so far as Harrison attacks Sackey. This time loses it underneath the rim. Hill picks up the loose ball but shuffled his feet and called for the travel. So back and forth they go. A game played on Presbyterian's terms so far, but New Orleans,
They don't mind having that identity. Every year a team create their own identity, and they've done a good job thus far in making sure people know if you come, you better come to strap it on.
Stewart deflecting the pass intended for Green out of bounds near side. And the offensive rebound story will be the story the entire game. Already 10 for Presbyterian. They've out-rebounded the Privateers 17-9 overall. And Coach Gang rebounding, you talked about it during the timeout, crucial against a team like this as Sackey looks to drive, kicks to an open shooter Green, who decides to drive baseline for the pull-up instead. It won't go, and McCormick clears the boards for Presbyterian. And that's not in the DNA of guards. They're looking for leak-out opportunities, but against Presbyterian, you got to think differently.
Exactly. Presbyterian sent 5 guys to the boards. If you can get the rebound, the defensive rebound, there are going to be some fast break opportunities on with guards running, wings running, and a hard push by your point guard.
They found the matchup there with Hill able to back down the smaller guard Green. Was called for the foul on the floor, the 6th Privateer team foul. So next will be bonus time on the 1-and-1 for the Blue Hose as up top Graham will pass to Hill, this time matched up against another UNO guard, although a big one at 6'5", and Allen Eikens. Not able to get his shot off here, needs help and walked as Allen Eikens did an excellent job there of standing his ground.
Yeah, Winston Hill had made his mind up. He was going to score the basketball, and I thought defensively the Privateers held their ground on that possession.
I don't want to short Deshaun an inch there. 6'6", a pretty good sized wing who can bang down low as we saw there. Now St. Hilaire, don't shortchange him, and one coast to coast.
Well, that was a much-needed bucket for St. Clair because he needed that for his confidence. He and Troy Green both, if they get going, they could cause some problems for Presbyterian.
And Derek can pull up and create space and shoot jumpers all day long, but he's at his best when he's going downhill using his quickness. That sets everything else up for him.
Yeah, it does. I think Simeon's done a good job of getting inside going. That's going to cause the defense to sag inside. That should create some opportunities for Green as well as Derek.
St. Hilaire and Kirkland, as you mentioned, who's played so well, combining for 16 of UNO's 18 points as the Privateers take their first lead of the ball game. Inside 7 minutes to go, Presbyterian led by as many as 6 early in the contest. As Harrison on the dribble lost control of it, and Sackey, who said he didn't touch it last, they will say it's off the veteran point guard. Privateers sending different defenders at Harrison trying to make him work.
Yeah, but Sackey was all over him like a cheap suit, man.
Now up top with it, with the basketball, is Thrash. Thrash looking back door and well executed. Stewart has been around the rim a lot as a rebounder and getting chippy opportunities. Now with 6 points. Other way, Saki comes up with the layup, and the Privateers have decided they don't want to play half-court ball if they don't have to, even after a make running in transition.
No, they're putting a lot of pressure on Presbyterian by pushing it right back at them. It's causing the defense to scramble, and that's when that happens, that gets the Privateers an advantage.
Thrash able to beat St. Hilaire on the dribble and gets fouled on the drive. St. Hilaire called for his first personal and the 7th team foul of the opening half against New Orleans, putting Kearshawn Thrash at the free throw line, a 6'3" sophomore out of McDonough, Georgia. And he probably knows some of these Privateers' current and recent past, being from McDonough, Georgia, because Derek St. Hilaire out of Atlanta knew a former Privateer All-Conference star, Damian Rosser, who was also from McDonough, Georgia. That's the reason why St. Hilaire transferred to UNO, because of that relationship. So there's got to be some familiarity there, as the Blue Hose will go deeper into their bench after the made free throws. Well, James Lavorne, a 6-foot freshman, getting minutes for the first time in this tournament.
Well, you know, you got 7 guys with Presbyterian that plays the bulk of the minutes. And so if the Privateers can get them into a transition game, and with Presbyterian playing back-to-back, that can really cause some issues with fatigue.
Spinning miss by Jackson, everything but the make down low. Other way, Ard blocked from behind by Alan Eikens, and Green coming up with it. Right to Alan Eikens in the lane, and he's called for the offensive foul. And Owen McCormick paid for it there, stepping in to take the charges. His head may have hit the floor going straight backwards. The big man, though, quickly helped to his feet, but he reached for the back of his head early. And this is a sacrifice of your body, and you see the example there of what can happen, but McCormick creating the Privateer turnover.
You know, when a player take a charge, he's sacrificing his body for the team. And that speaks volume about what kind of guy you are. You're a team guy.
Stays
100%.
in, immediately sets the screen, and a baseline drive and a flush by Terrell Ard.
That's an angry young man.
No question. Like Simeon Kirkland, transfer from UAB, they were teammates last year, and showing you he can finish with authority. Now he creates a turnover as it's deflected off his steal attempt. Alan Eikens to touch it last. And once you get into the half court, these guys are pretty tough at getting in passing lanes.
Yeah, well, that's the way you should attack the rim, though, because 9 times out of 10, if you got somebody who going to contest that dunk, you end up can get a 3-point play. Fortunately, the Privateers allowed him to get to the rim for an easy dunk.
Privateers also going back to the 2 bigger forwards. Jackson on the floor now with Kirkland after his break. Pull-up jumper Stewart off back iron, and the rebound goes into the hands of St. Hilaire off the deflection. D. St. looking to attack, into the paint, stripped out of his hands, and the Blue Hose come up with it. On the run the other way, Thrash, and he's slowed down as the Privateers get back. Into the corner to Ard, who drove to the hole a moment ago. Now matched up with Kirkland, former teammates head-to-head, and the great feed and assist to McCormick down low. They move well off the basketball and work the baseline really well. We've seen that here a lot as it's a quick 4-0 run for Presbyterian, up 25-20. 4:15 and counting first half. St. Hilaire up top to Green against the bigger Ard, gets right by him to the paint, scoop it up and in under the rim.
That was good. Way to attack, way to finish at the rim.
So Troy Green recognizing the matchup advantage and coming up with his first field goal, 4 points in the game for Troy. UNO down 3 inside the 4-minute mark as Thrash will go up top to McCormick, who tries to show off his range and misses the 3 ball. Kirkland clears for the Privateers. Carson scooping to the trailer, St. Hilaire right side. And it goes through the hands, the pass for and over and back as Kirkland just simply didn't grasp the pass back.
Well, the Cavaliers
of day 2 of the UNO Classic presented by Embassy Suites. And we haven't seen Rashawn Harrison see the ball in a while. He looks to post up right side against Carson, who pokes it away, and UNO with the loose ball.
Carson
good defense
did a good
there,
job.
Coach.
Yeah, he did. He held his ground and deflected that dribble. and which got the Privateers in a transition game.
St. Hilaire stops at the elbow and passes into the corner to Green, who fake shot a couple times. Now will launch the three, and it's short. Board cleared by Thrash and Presbyterian. He'll look to attack quickly, and should be a player control foul, and it is, and we'll hope Troy Green's all right as he took a nasty spill on the baseline as he's helped to his feet.
Well, we certainly don't need to lose Troy. Troy contributes so much on both ends. He's a complete player. Just glad to see him get up off the court.
Checking his right wrist here, but he'll play on. A couple of steals in the half for Troy. And he's matched up a few times with Harrison. But again, UNO will keep throwing different defenders at the Blue Hose Star. And we will talk about the nickname for those who aren't familiar with Presbyterian and where that came from. If you think hose, think stockings, a nickname over 100 years old at Presbyterian College. I guess hose is better than stockings for a different kind of name. As another steal by Presbyterian on the post feed. Thrash comes up with it. Up ahead McCormick, baseline quickly, pass out Stewart into the corner, and Presbyterian throws it away into the backcourt as Harrison out of the reach of Thrash. It's a different nickname, Coach, if you were recruiting to that.
I was hoping you just keep moving from that name. I'm thinking Firehose for sure, but I don't know how they came up with that name. It's certainly that might be the only mascot in the country called Hose. So at this point, let's get back to the game, if you don't mind.
And they've worn blue socks. Why don't they call them the Blue Sox, like the Red Sox and the White Sox? I don't know.
Right.
Those people probably aren't around anymore, but it is certainly a unique nickname.
It is. I'm not sure there's another team in America called the Blue Hose.
Green inside the arc top of the key, trying to pass it down low. Nobody there, but Terrell Ard, who's off to the races the other way. McCormick on the baseline, kicks Harrison open three. Off target, and Kirkland with another Privateer rebound. Chance to run for St. Hilaire. Into the lane he goes. To the rim he goes. Bank it up and in.
Yeah. When he's attacking, that's when he's most dangerous for sure.
Second field goal. He hasn't attempted a three here in the first half, which is headline news, but 8 points now in the contest for the man averaging 21 and a half per game this season. McCormick on the pick and roll fed and running into Tyson Jackson, who's called for the foul to put McCormick at the line.
Yeah, McCormick drew two people on that roll. He came with a high screen and roll really hard, which forced two people to come at him. And he was going to draw a foul one way or another from one of those two defenders.
They've cut really well off the basketball around the paint and the baseline to create opportunities, including the big man McCormick, who's the only player off the bench for the Blue Hose to score in double figures so far this season. Had 13 against the Citadel in a double overtime win. 6'9", 211 out of Advance, North Carolina. And on the 1-and-1 makes the front end.
Yeah, well, McCormick is averaging about 26 minutes a game, but he's a good pick and pop guy, good screen and roll guy. But you got to block him off the board. He can knock down the high post jump shot, and he'll use ball fakes from time to time. So he's very active, and you got to make sure you contain and control him throughout your defensive possession.
And because he's able to come out and handle the ball, he sets up the opportunities to slash to the hole for many of his teammates who are at their best downhill. 27-24 after the made free throws. Carson looks to draw UNO within two, but misses the 16-footer short. And Presbyterian again continues their dominance on the glass with another rebound as they've outboarded the Privateers by 8. Now Graham, a good look down low, but not able to convert. Saki off to the races, slows up with the numbers not there, and gets it back for a shot opportunity. He passes up like a point guard does, lay it up and in. Tyson Jackson.
That was a good move by Saki. He passed up a good shot, which he was open, dumped it in the post for an easy layup.
This feels like a first half that's going the way of Presbyterian, stylistically speaking, but UNO within one, despite it all, as we play inside a minute to go. Up top, Graham, around McCormick's screen to the hole, and both Privateer bigs attack the basketball as it's swatted away out of bounds.
Yeah, that looked like a good turkey sandwich when he took it to the...
A little too much bread for my liking, Coach, but really good Privateer help defense there, as you could try to block either Kirkland or Jackson. 10 to shoot for the Blue Hose as they lob it up to the rim. Ard not able to one-hand it. Up ahead, Kirkland.
Time.
And a reverse post jam for Derek St. Hilaire. D. Saint showing you the ups from a 6-foot guard. He has 10 points in the half. UNO back up by 1, and the Blue Hose will call a timeout with 33.6 seconds to go. Use it or lose it, as we call it here, on the 30-second timeout. But UNO starting to get some stops defensively, and more the running game paying off.
It'd be good to see the Privateers close the half out with a stop and could possibly get a score. But I'm sure the Presbyterians drawing up a play to try to score, but it gives the Privateers enough time or another possession on that end. 26 seconds on the shot clock. Privateers need to make the stop and go down to score and maybe get some momentum going into the half.
And we haven't seen Rashawn Harrison have the usage rate we're used to for this Presbyterian team. Just 4 shots in the half, but he has 6 points. And one would think he might be involved here, and he will take the inbounds as UNO will show a trapping look, a 1-3-1. Oh, my goodness. Unfortunately, though, Kirkland trying to use his height at the top of it with the bump at half court. You didn't want to give away a cheap foul there and put their best scorer at the free throw line, but team foul number 10 means double bonus and 2 shots for Harrison, but a good look that at first looked like Presbyterian might have some trouble with it.
Well, that was a good change of defense, change the pace. I'm sure Presbyterian probably drew up a man-to-man play. Coach Les did a good job of changing his defense. His personnel has got to play defense with their feet and not so much with their hands. Be active with your hands, but don't reach.
And Harrison, a walking bucket. Excellent at the foul line. Makes them both. And the Privateers will have what will likely be the last possession of the half with the shot clock off, trailing 29-28. St. Hilaire, though, looks like he wants to go quickly and nearly throws it away. Green able to save it in the corner, and that's not what UNO wanted to do, and Green will bring it up top.
He'll attack at about 8 seconds.
And just as you say that, off he goes against Stewart and fouled deep in the paint. Got plenty of space to work with one-on-one, and that's Troy Green's wheelhouse.
Well, Troy and Derek both are very, very dangerous when they are attacking. He had no choice to go to the rim because at the end of the day, he can get those free throws to go down. He's the guy you want on the free throw line. Ooh, I jinxed him.
The announcers jinx your first of the season. Tick Price, he did it, folks, not me. I'm sure I'll chip in at some point. Green, now 2 for 3 at the stripe. Looking to tie the ball game with 5.6 left, and he does.
Well, I hope Troy's mom and dad listening don't hold that against me today.
So one last chance for Presbyterian to try to retake the lead. And here is Harrison in the backcourt on the run with it with 3 seconds. 2, he rises off balance and fires, and it goes.
Open 3. St. Clair put it down the way it should have been. But that was great execution by the Privateers.
And another offensive board, and it's been Stewart primarily, Courtney Stewart, with a tap-in. He's done almost all of his damage on the glass for 10 points. On second chances, now St. Hilaire forcing matters, misses the shot out of bounds. Last touch by the Blue Hose. And there's a difference between speeding up the game and maybe forcing the issue there. And you accept that with a scorer like St. Hilaire. Every once in a while he's going to take a shot you don't like, but he's going to make a lot of them that most guys can't make.
Yeah. I'm really concerned about allowing Presbyterian to get second shots. We can't continue to do that. You got to gravitate toward that ball. You got to go pursue the rebound.
Hill misses a really good look from 8 feet on the baseline. Privateers fortunate there as Kirkland with his 6th board. Up ahead, Troy Green. He's had a lot of success doing this. Shows the ball, spins on the pivot, not able to make the short shot, though.
Yeah, that was a good move, though, by Troy. I'd like to see UNO get some offensive rebounds.
Reddish at the foul line and a whistle, and it looks like an illegal screen will be called on Winston Hill. And it is Hill's 2nd personal foul and first foul of the half. 18:32 to go. Presbyterian up 34-32. The Blue Hose led by as many as 6 in the opening half.
Look for UNO to run a play, a good high ball screen, block to block, throw it inside if possible.
St.
They
Hilaire
skipped it across court, which is a good decision because the big fella drew help inside.
and Green, after Kirkland stepped out, cleared out the paint with the defender going with him, goes right to the glass and banks it in. Troy Green with 7 points now. And dribble penetration for Green and St. Hilaire has been there when they've been patient. 34 apiece at the lakefront, just over 2 minutes into the second half. Harrison fumbles the catch, and he's able to pass before UNO does just that. Here is Reddish up top with Hill, and he's quickly trapped and double teamed, and the steal on the pass. Deflection by Allen Akers. Up ahead to the hole, St. Hilaire dishing the no-look pass off the knees of Tyson Jackson. And Harrison looking to probe the other way on the dribble. Hill wants the ball. Harrison decided to go to the foul line and kick to the wing. Younger misses the long three, and the flat-footed Privateers pay again as Harrison gets the long rebound. Younger this time will look to drive on the catch. Dishes it down low. Hill gets the layup. Second chances. Getting the offense going again for the Blue Hose.
Well, they've been living off of second chance opportunities this entire game. And that phase part of the game has got to get shut down as the Privateers want to be victorious at the end of this 20-minute period.
This time St. Hilaire down deep again, finds Green, who goes to the other side to bank it in. So that's the guy you pass it too low like that, unlike the last one to the big man Jackson, and Troy Green with a couple of early buckets in the half. Up to 9 points in the game. Tied at 36, and quickly the cut to the basket. St. Hilaire beaten by Reddish, who gets the easy layup. Hill, a big man who can come out and handle with a nice pass to set that up. Allen Ikens to the hole and foul. We've seen UNO in transition after makes get opportunities as this game's gone along. How much of that, Coach, is Presbyterian having to play their starting 5 heavier minutes and the depth paying off that way?
You lose your legs. You got a lot of guys. You got 5 guys. Their 5 starters log a lot of minutes. And they play 2 other guys off the bench. McCormick gives them good minutes, and Trash gives them good minutes. But other than that, and you're playing back-to-back days, I'm hoping that UNO can wear them down.
Third foul on Stewart, so it looks like he'll come out as mass substitutions for both teams here. And again, these teams played yesterday. And for Presbyterian, a game that went down to the wire, whereas the Privateers were able to get their starters out in a 27-point victory.
Yeah, this group that Coach Schlesinger just subbed in, I think Saki certainly gives them a good minutes, always have when he comes off the bench. So hopefully this will re-energize the players.
Only St. Hilaire, the Privateer starter, left on the court. Actually, Allen Ikens also out there as well, but we'll see about Robbie Robinson dealing with the injured foot, having to move around here. Looks to be moving well, and the Privateers cutting off the paint so far, but a matchup against Saki that Thrash likes, but he can't get off the shot.
Oh, he definitely was looking to take him.
Down to 4 here, and a contested 3, and wow, Marquise Barnett, the freshman, making his first appearance and his presence known with the big bailout shot. Now the other way, Robinson passes up the open jumper to find Myers, who puts it in with his offhand, the lefty, off the glass with the right.
That was good ball movement, good unselfish basketball by the Privateers.
41-39, Presbyterian with the lead. 15:30 to go, and now Myers with a steal. Chance to run against McCormick. Gives it up to St. Hilaire off the glass and in.
They're a real good basketball team when they're in transition.
And Myers making plays right off the bench, showing the Privateer depth. St. Hilaire now up to 15 points in the contest. Tied at 41, our 9th tie of the game already. Blistering in the second half so far, 5 of 7 from the floor. Presbyterian at 37%, and in a tie ball game with the basketball, as Terrell Ard with the catch up top will hand it off to Barnett, who made the 3 a moment ago. Now Reddish back to Barnett, feeding the post to McCormick against Robinson. Wants space to work with, will try to back him down, tries to go over with the left hand and misses down low. Rebound Robinson. St. Hilaire, with no numbers, will slow it up, and the Privateers will set up trying to take a lead. They've only led by as much as 1 on 3 occasions so far.
It's got to be one and done. Every possession for the next 14 minutes by the Privateers. That was a good defensive stop by the Privateers. Now,
St.
we
Hilaire
can't have
loses it. Yeah.
run-outs.
Dunk for Reddish with 2 hands on a play where St. Hilaire tried to dribble through a couple defenders and had it stripped away. Thrash came up with it and came up with the assist as well. So just as the Privateers try to start creating some separation, Presbyterian again with an answer. Allen Eikens with a catch-shoot opportunity from deep. Can't get it to go down, and Myers fighting for the rebound with Ard. Touched it last on the baseline.
I tell you what, though, fans are treated to a fine basketball team by both the Privateers as well as Presbyterian. Both teams are playing hard. Both teams are competing. Now, do you impose your will? Whatever team does that is going to be the team that win this ball game.
43-41, Blue Hose with the lead, 13:45 and counting. And Reddish brings it into the front court. Trying to get some minutes here from Marquise Barnett. Put it in the hands of Reddish. An illegal screen up at the top of the key. McCormick caught moving early.
That was a good call by Danny Chance with the knee to the hip. You can't move, you got to stand, and you got to depend on the ball handler to run right off your shoulders to make it a legal screen.
Third team foul is the first personal of the game on McCormick, and they're emphasizing more and more not making yourself bigger or wider as a screener from the season release a few weeks ago about setting screens and trying to open up the offensive game. That an easy call, though, by the officials as the Privateers down 2 with it. Jackson inside the arc. Straight away goes to Carson on the left wing. He's cut off, and the pass goes off of Kirkland.
Shot clock.
Chased down by Green with 6 to shoot. Troy tries to force his way in, floater up, and wipe it out. The push-off called on Green, an offensive foul. Privateer guards have made plays in this game. St. Hilaire with 15 and Troy Green with 9, but they've also been called for a good number, or caught turning over the basketball under pressure. So when you're heavily pressured, you got to try to attack it, but the Presbyterian Blue Hose able to create for themselves at times defensively. Up 2 with the ball. Barnett in the corner with it near side. Works his way down and up and in off the glass, and confusion by the Privateer defense on the help side. And Barnett takes advantage for an and one opportunity.
Yeah. Well, you drive on that baseline, that's got to be help side coming right to that basketball to force him to kick back out. That wasn't good rotation by the Privateers on that possession.
The Blue Hose having to go into their depth here with Barnett in this tournament. He's averaging just half a point a game coming in. A chance to make it 6 off the bench in the second half. But the biggest embarrassment that can happen to a player, I think, an air ball on his first free throw of the season. But if they can get minutes from guys beyond the 7 they normally play, that's huge down the stretch in a close game. And then St. Hilaire throws it away. Up ahead, Green able to steal it right back for UNO to prevent the fast break. Troy in a hurry, into the lane, not able to make the layup. Loose ball foul is called. Or actually, I think they're going to get McCormick with a block in the restricted area on the shot by Green.
Yeah, well, he was too deep in the restricted area to get that call. Although that was a good try, tried to act it. But Troy came out on top. The official might get invited to Thanksgiving dinner on that call.
Well, Miss Tony Schlesinger, I know, has got a feast waiting for the family back at the house not far away from Lakefront Arena in the Gentilly area of town, as Green misses a second free throw in the game. That is awfully rare for Troy. Now 3 of 5 at the stripe as he takes another opportunity to score his 10th point.
You know, that's one of those deals, too. When you're having Thanksgiving dinner, you just played a game. You want to go over there where you can enjoy yourself at dinner time. The worst thing in the world is go to dinner and not be in a festive mood to be around each other.
That's a really good point.
Especially with the coach and his wife.
St. Hilaire almost with a steal. Now numbers on the recovery and banked up and in hard, feeding McCormick for the layup. Sometimes those 50-50 plays have to go your way if you're going to win on the road. Presbyterian matches their biggest lead of the game at 6, 47-41. St. Hilaire now under some duress again, passes it out for Green to recover. A lot of dribble driving by these two experienced UNO guards. Passed out to Carson as the shot clock runs to 9 and poked away by the Blue Hose. Another recovery for Green, 6 to shoot. Jackson in the post, and he's set up perfectly by Reddish for the offensive foul. Presbyterian on a 6-0 run over the last 3 minutes and 8 seconds to hold a 47-41 lead over the UNO Privateers. 11:49 remaining. And separation has been hard to come by between these two teams in this game, but Presbyterian with the ball up 6. This could be an important possession for the game.
It will be. I'm glad to see Carson back out on the court. And he and Sackey brings a lot of energy to the Privateers. But that was a good design play with a high-low action.
And Reddish, a thicker guard, able to seal off and set up the perfect passing angle over the top for the layup. They recognize mismatches extremely well, does Presbyterian, and they have done so in this tournament so far. As Sackey has it, UNO needs a bucket down 8, and a reach-in call as former teammates match up Ard, called for going through Simeon Kirkland that time.
Yeah, well, that was a good post up by Simeon Kirkland. They've got to continue to stay poised, continue to execute, and don't lose their composure for the next 11 minutes.
Second foul on Reddish is the 5th team foul of the half on Presbyterian. Privateers with a fresh 20. Out top with it, Rodney Carson puts it in the hands of the point guard, Sackey. Daniel wanting some movement as Jackson trying to find where he needs to go. Now dribbling the big man between the rings with the shot clock draining quickly on the Privateers. Down to 4. Sackey baseline left into the corner. Carson, and his shot attempt is swatted out of bounds, and it'll be a shot clock violation on the Privateers.
Well, you got to always know time and score, and that's really the bottom line. The Privateers, I think, didn't know how much time was on the shot clock, and you forced a real tough shot. I thought Presbyterian did a good job of holding that ground on the defensive end.
And Barnett making another play for them on the block shot at the buzzer, and a foul called on UNO as it looks like Kamani Dowdy called for trying to go for the steal. Actually, it'll be on Terrell Ard. So Ard called for his 3rd personal. That works out well for UNO. Down 49-41 with 10:40 to go, and now the Blue Hose will apply some backcourt pressure. Green will inbound to Sackey. And UNO needs to be careful to avoid the trap with the length of this backcourt. Sackey just goes right at it, and what a finish. Right hand sweeping across the lane over the shoulder.
He should have got 6 points, but just the point of difficulty in that shot.
Degree of difficulty, judges say give him a 10. Big bucket for Sackey to draw UNO within 6. Now McCormick on the dish falls to the floor. They don't call the travel, but UNO comes up with it anyway. Troy Green picked it up. Now to the free throw line, he's cut off and will pass it out. Patience that time leads to an open banker on about a 10-footer by Robbie Robinson. That time Green not forcing matters, and UNO gets a bucket as a result with the open shot. Now McCormick will have to get up after he may have twisted an ankle here, hobbling towards the sideline, and Winston Hill will replace him.
Yeah, well, Hill has been a thorn too. He crashes the offensive board. He averages 9 rebounds a ball game, 12 points. And so that was a tough injury. Hopefully McCormick will be fine. He's going to the back. The trainer's taking a look at him right now.
Halfway through the second half, Presbyterian up 49-45. UNO with 2 straight buckets. Trying to come up with another stop as Dowdy will put pressure on Reddish. Hill wants it right away in the post. Great matchup between him and Robinson. Robinson getting him to pass it off in the corner. More 2-man game between the two. Dowdy knocked it away. Hill picked it up, and he'll rise and fire for 3 off target. Big victory there by the Privateers. Toughness in the 2-man matchup. Now Dowdy wide open, near side 3, and Kamani Dowdy, nothing but net.
Yeah, he ran the floor. Sackey did a good job of delivering that ball to him on the run with a run and catch, knock down the three.
First bucket for Dowdy is on the helping spark this 7-0 Privateers run to draw back within one. Presbyterian with the basketball in the front court. Barnett into the hands of Reddish. Quick jumper, and it's partially deflected from behind. Fighting for the rebound, and Presbyterian, that's what they do. They come up with the loose ball, and Reddish will go to the foul line. Well defended by the Privateers, but seems like the glass is the best weapon for the Blue Hose at times.
Well, you got to finish the defense with the rebound. I mean, that's been really the story all game long. The storyline of this game at this point is offensive rebounding. Knew that. You got to pay attention to your scouting report and carry it out as your coach have given you.
15 and counting as Reddish will shoot a pair on the 5th UNO team foul and gets the roll on the first of two. Reddish on the season coming in at 77%. As a team, the Blue Hose really good at the foul line at 76%. As Reddish will try to make it a perfect trip, and he does just that. 51-48, both teams shooting over 50% in the second half. UNO at 67% so far. Green pulls up for a free throw line jumper and improves that percentage a little more.
Yeah, well, that was a nice pull-up by Green. Presbyterian went into that 2-2-1 press, and I thought the Privateers handled that press very well.
Green now the third New Orleans player in double figures. He has 11 in the contest. 1-point game once again. Now Reddish has it stripped clean. Hill comes up with the loose ball, and then the reach-in is called, I believe, on Daniel Saki. Third foul on Daniel. Now both teams with 16 fouls, approaching the 1-and-1 in this contest. And both teams pretty good free throw shooting teams, I should mention. New Orleans coming in at 73% on the year. Fresh 20 for the Blue Hose to work with. As Zeb Graham back in the ball game for Presbyterian will inbound on the baseline. Having trouble doing so, and eventually gets it into the corner. Hill, who can handle it out there against Robinson, will hand it off. And Harrison got a nice long rest, so he should be energized and immediately looking to shoot, and drills the right corner three.
Boy, he's a special player. He's got good feel for the game, very smart player.
Very huge advantage to get him that extra rest. Now Dowdy blocked in the air, and that's got to be a held ball with the arrow pointing to the Blue Hose as Hill met him in the air for the rejection. And Harrison getting this long rest, Coach. Look, he's played 25 minutes in this game. You've talked about how he plays 37, 38 a game. This is a rest I don't think they anticipated to be able to buy for him. He's got 14 points and should have a lot in the tank down the stretch.
Well, I like him because he never in a rush. He gets to his spot. He knows exactly how the defense is playing. He takes what the defense gives him.
Presbyterian comes up with the loose ball, and Stewart, who's back out there, lost it going to the rim, and a foul will be called on Presbyterian as Harrison accidentally dribbled it off the foot of a Privateer, and it looked like Stewart was going to have another right place. Dowdy played 26 games last year for UNO, averaging nearly 4 contests and growing into a key reserve in the college level, and a smooth stroke there to make both foul shots and make it a 2-point game as the Privateers will press in the backcourt.
Yeah, well, that was big free throws because now you made it a one-possession game.
UNO trailed by as many as 8, but went on a run to draw back within 1. Now Hill down low, rejected by Jackson, who rips the ball away. Big man versus big man, the battle won by T-Jack. Inside 7:30 to go. Privateers getting good minutes from their reserves, including the point guard Saki, looking to the post, can't get it in there, gives it up to Dowdy up top. Screen from Robinson, who's playing hurt, but playing well. Now with 8 to shoot, Robinson mid-post left with it. Will find an open Green on the baseline, who goes to the rim and draws the foul. Ball movement, Coach.
Yeah.
Less dribbling, more passing and movement away from the basketball, and the patience was rewarded that time for UNO.
And I think UNO's got the right guy on the free throw line shooting it too. I don't mean to jinx you, but Green, that's the guy you want to shoot the free throws.
Surprising 3 of 6 for him in the game, so a rare chink in the armor for an excellent foul shooter, and that's more like it for his 12th point. McCormick, who went into looked like the training room at one point, has come back into the ball game, so a really good sign to see for the Blue Hose as he looks okay and moving well.
Yeah, well, I think they knew they needed some length in there to finish this half out. But again, Green hit some clutch free throws for the Privateers.
So UNO tying it at 54. Double-digit ties in this game between the two teams so far. Once again, UNO with some man pressure in the backcourt. I think just to slow Presbyterian down, take a little time away from them to work in the half-court offense, as they don't really have a true point guard, as you see Reddish, a long wing, handling the ball now. But Harrison, you want the ball in his hands if you're a fan of the guys in blue. Pull up long two, rattles out. Rebound on the floor, and St. Hilaire able to scoop it up. Once again, Stewart almost came up with the offensive rebound. Now St. Hilaire on the baseline will pass it out. And again, UNO showing more patience, as now Dowdy dribbles it off a foot and loses the basketball. And a foul will be called on New Orleans as Dowdy pushed, trying to scramble to get the ball back. Just as I say it, a young player making an unwise decision and leading the free throws on the other end on the 7th UNO team foul.
Yeah, Dowdy, sometimes he's going through a learning curve, but he is a fine player. He's a young player, but he brings a lot of energy. What I like most about him, he's willing to compete every possession on the defensive end.
So Stewart, the left-hander at the line, makes the front end of the 1-and-1. Stewart now with 11 points in the game. And he, the prime offensive rebounder for them, 4 of his 5 boards so far off the offensive glass. Has 2 steals as well, but misses the second foul shot. And Presbyterian, as we've said many times, settles for a 1-point lead.
Yeah. Stewart's averaging about 4.5 rebounds, so he's gotten his average in this game already.
Off the handoff, St. Hilaire can't make the reverse on the run. Other way with it, Harrison on the wing. He's been really patient. Now seeing a matchup he likes against Saki, trying to back him down. Spins past him and so soft off the glass. He's a flat-out scorer, folks.
Yeah.
A quiet 16 in this game.
Just a smooth operator. I love the way how poised he is and how he pick and choose his spots.
57-54 Blue Hose. 5:45 and counting second half. Now Jackson in the post will test McCormick. Lefty jump hook won't go, but the foul is called on the push by McCormick. And especially after seeing him get hurt, you'd love to see Jackson get it down low against the Presbyterian big man.
Yeah, well, if you put it in the post, our bigs have got to go to the rim and expect contact and be willing to make a three-point play and not look for a foul.
Jackson was just 2 points in the game on 3 shooting attempts. Went 0 for 2 on the free throw line in the first half. Shooting foul here on the 9th team foul for the Blue Hose, and makes the first. Tyson's made his presence felt, though, on the defensive end with 3 block shots so far. And he could still be a real factor if you can get it to him down low down the stretch in a close game.
Well, I think what you can do with Tyson, you get his attention by saying, if you don't get us more rebounds, you don't get to eat Thanksgiving turkey.
and he's never late for dinner, folks. You can take a look at it and see that.
Yeah.
Missed the second free throw. Rebound Blue Hose up 2. Simeon Kirkland looking to check back in for the UNO Privateers. But first, Harrison misses the leap and laner. Loose ball on the floor. McCormick gives up his body. Saki thought he had saved it for a UNO breakaway, but he's called for stepping on the sideline. And once again, McCormick on the court. Troy Green clattered into him and up slowly as well. Floor burn moment for 2 teams that are hustling, trying to battle for a win in a tight contest.
You can appreciate when both teams are competing like that. Guys are scrambling for the ball, diving for the ball. Both teams really want to win.
And both players who went down look to be okay. And Green and McCormick will stay on the court. Jackson checks out, so Kirkland, who had the big first half on 5 of 6 shooting, after a long break on the floor. Now we have a stoppage of play. And I think it's a shot clock issue again here as they reset at the 30 instead of 20, so it'll be 5:21 remaining with 15 to shoot for Presbyterian.
Look for a pin down for Harrison, trying to get him a shot.
Lurking on the baseline against St. Hilaire, UNO forcing the inbounds pass into the backcourt. Reddish will try to set up the offense. Hard hedge by Robinson. That leaves McCormick down low to shoot it up and in over Kirkland. That's the risk you take when you hedge if you're a big man on the screen. And that time, Presbyterian setting up McCormick for his 7th and 8th point. 59-55, Blue Hose lead, 5 minutes to go.
Yeah, Harrison set that up, though, because you can't help off of Harrison to help on the roll guy. And that left McCormick wide open for a layup.
Once again, St. Hilaire trying to go amongst the trees to make an acrobatic shot. Comes up empty, and another foul on UNO on the loose ball. This time Kirkland with his second foul, and now more of a 1-on-1 chance for Presbyterian on the other end. St. Hilaire hasn't settled for those step-back shots that Privateer fans that have seen him all season and last year are used to. He's really trying to force matters inside a couple times, maybe a little bit out of control.
Yeah. Well, I think, you know, when a guy plays with that much confidence, he feels like he can make those shots, he can finish at the rim. But I don't think that's the reason why UNO is behind is because of lack of rebounding early on in the ball game.
Ard missing the front end. Privateers clear the glass and will set up in the half court. Down by 4. Saki out there with Green and St. Hilaire, your most experienced guard. Green in the post.
Good move.
Oh, what a dip under for the layup as he got Stewart, a much taller defender, to leave his feet. Troy Green.
You know, people don't use that ball fake as much these days, but Troy Green did a good job of executing the ball fake to draw the defender off his feet for a layup.
15 points for the Privateer senior. Now Harrison kicks to McCormick, who passes up the 3, goes in the trees, finds Ard at the foul line, short off the front of the rim. Rebound for Kirkland. Up ahead quickly to Saki. 3 blue shirts waiting. To the trailer it goes, St. Hilaire down low, and Robinson dishing it to the trailer Kirkland. 4 Privateers quickly touch the basketball to create a scoring opportunity, and a foul called on Ard. That'll be his 4th. Down 2, New Orleans will be at the Falcons in the UNO Classic. And New Orleans trailing by 2, but Simeon Kirkland a chance to cut into or erase the Presbyterian lead. Kirkland's first free throw off back iron. First foul shot attempted of the game for Simeon. And UNO a little shaky at the foul line here in the second half, just 6 of 11. But Kirkland able to recover and get the second one.
Well, they got a roll, but this next 4 minutes will determine who wants it the most.
And if you're Presbyterian, you've got Rayshon Harrison ready, and Troy Green realizing that, trying to deny the handoff. Instead, Younger with it. We'll find Reddish against St. Hilaire. Cut off and will pass it out. McCormick now Younger again. Stopped at the foul line. UNO defending every step of the way, and McCormick taking an off-balance 3, but another offensive rebound for the Blue Hose. Reddish keeps it, double-teamed in the post, goes left to wing to Younger, who drives baseline and makes a layup.
Gotta have help side defense.
Second chance points. Again for the visitors, leading 61-58 as we approach 3 minutes to go. Saki into the hands of Green, perimeter left. Uses a screen from Kirkland, pulls up at the foul line over the big man McCormick and hits the J.
Glad to see Green having a good game today. Well, that was a nice decision to use his pull-up jump shot. He's a very good mid-range shooter.
Leading scorer for UNO in the contest was 17. He had 16 in yesterday's win. Privateers down 1, now Younger, wide open for 3. Can't get it to go, and Green skies for the rebound. Privateers with a chance to take the lead in a game where they haven't had it often, just by 1 point a couple of times, trailing by 1 at the moment. And St. Hilaire on the left side will look to drive and draws the foul. Couldn't get the layup to go down, but found a seam and got himself an opportunity. And the spacing there was really good by UNO to give a quick guard in St. Hilaire a lot of room to work with.
Yeah, that was good spacing. But Dirk has one of the quickest first steps in the conference. And if you don't have help side defense on him, he'll finish that with a layup or a dunk.
St. Hilaire with 15 points in the game so far. And yesterday scored 22 on 9 of 20 shooting. And shooting 20 plus has been a common occurrence for him so far this season from the field. But 5 of 9 today, and now a perfect 5 of 5 from the free throw line.
Yeah, he and Troy Green are two of the best free throw shooters on the team. When you have those two at the free throw line, you pretty much know that it's automatic.
And guards that are going to have the ball, especially in close games late, who you can trust at the charity stripe. And St. Hilaire making both to give UNO a 62-61 lead, set up for a great finish at the lakefront. And in the front court, Presbyterian calls timeout with 2:15 remaining in the game. We look at the situation with the Privateers having 3 timeouts to work with. Presbyterian now down to just 1. And the foul situation, UNO already in the double bonus. 18 fouls to the Privateers, so Presbyterian only in the 1-and-1, and if needed, the possession arrow pointing to New Orleans. Coach, both of these teams know they have go-to players. Rashawn Harrison will see the ball, I'm sure, for Presbyterian. 16 points in the game for him. And the Privateers with the options of both St. Hilaire and Troy Green, the latter in particular, playing really well. That opens up a little bit more for UNO to find offense.
Yeah, it does. It'd be interesting to see what's going to be run by Presbyterian coming out this time out. The Privateers have got to be talking. They've got to do a good job of getting through screens, and they've got their help side defense has got to be on point.
Thrash inbounding to Reddish, also out there with Younger, Harrison, and the big man McCormick, who has it, and it's poked away from him. Ball on the floor. Younger dives for it, and he's tied up. And it should be UNO basketball.
Possession.
We talked about the arrow. It comes into play right away. UNO forcing a huge turnover with 2:04 to go.
That was really good defense by the Privateers. They came out and really showed some mental toughness as well as some court savvy.
Robbie Robinson creating that turnover with the poke away. Playing hurt. Only 2 points in the game, but a really good defender, trusted down the stretch. Saki at the point, inside the arc, harassed by Harrison, will pass it back out. Now St. Hilaire with the rock. Both he and Green with 17 points apiece to lead all scores. Green back to St. Hilaire in front of the UNO bench with 8 on the shot clock. A screen from Jackson into the paint. St. Hilaire fading away as shots blocked by Younger. And Younger was on the baseline trying to save it. Just 2 seconds left to shoot for New Orleans as St. Hilaire will work it in.
It's going to be a short clock. It's a catch and shoot.
Tried to get it in to Robinson, and the steal comes up before the shot clock goes off by Harrison. A big stop for Presbyterian, down 1. 90 seconds remaining. Harrison out top to McCormick. Right side, an open 3 for Thrash, and he puts it in. Second straight game late. He hits a huge 3. And Presbyterian up 64-62 as the Privateers will call timeout with 1:12 remaining. You talk about the law of averages for Thrash. He couldn't buy a 3 in the first 4 games of the season. Able to hit big ones late in each of these past 2 at the UNO Classic.
Yeah, and he shot it with a lot of confidence. Maybe he's a big shot guy. Some guys live in the moment, and this yesterday and today has certainly been 2 big shots for him to make, especially with 1 minute and 12 seconds, and put his team up 2. But Privateers fortunately have another opportunity to answer to that shot.
Game being played in the low 60s at the moment. A team that's used to games at this pace and winning close ones, 3 of them for all of their victories so far. And they're getting a little better shooting overall than they're accustomed to by the numbers. 40% in the game, and they've hit 4 big threes, including the one at the end of the half by Harrison to beat the buzzer, and that time by Thrash. Everything working out for the Blue Hose to have a chance to come away with a road victory in this holiday tournament. Privateers with 24 to shoot will look to inbound, and they'll keep the same 5 on the floor, the 2 forwards being Robinson and Jackson. Green to work it in with Sackey and St. Hilaire, the other two guards. Robinson will take it near half court, hand it to Sackey to set up the UNO half court look. St. Hilaire, left side, screen from Jackson again, in the paint he goes, gets the roll right at the chest of the big man McCormick. Massive finish, and the marquee players you got to think are going to come out now. 58.9 to go, tied at 64. St. Hilaire with 19, and Harrison with the rock across the timeline for the Blue Hose.
The good players play best when you play your best is needed.
With 16, he's trying to back down Green. Shoots a one-footed fadeaway. Talk about great shot makers.
Yep.
St. Hilaire on one end, Harrison on the other. 2-point Blue Hose lead. Timeout UNO again in the front court with 40.5 seconds remaining. Everything you do in a close game to get down to the final minutes, it goes away, and it's time to get your best players the basketball. UNO does it on one end, and the Blue Hose do it on the other.
Well, I can tell you one thing. Both teams have thrown counter punches. What team is going to throw the knockout punch these next 40 seconds is going to be key.
Will be interesting to see what the Privateers do. St. Hilaire, you'd have to think, a player that the Blue Hose would like to get the ball out of his hands, but if they're too aggressive with it, Troy Green has been a problem off the dribble the entire game as well.
Yeah. You know, you watch these two teams compete, and during the course of a game like this, sometimes it comes down to what team have the last possession. That's normally the case in most victories. UNO has got 26 seconds on the shot clock. Presbyterian's got a chance to have the last possession.
And if you're UNO, the idea of 2 for 1 you see a lot in the NBA. You'd love to be able to score something quick and set up a play, but you don't want to force the issue just to have a better chance at another possession as well. So it's a bit of a tricky situation for a coaching staff. And we're curious to see what the Privateers come up with. Same look that we saw before, and now Sackey will have the basketball, and the Privateers are going to take their time. They need a bucket to tie or perhaps take the lead. Green inside the arc, top of the key to St. Hilaire, who creates space for a jumper, and he's fouled inside the arc on about a 20-footer. Chance to tie it at the free throw line.
Well, they had the ball in their two best players' hands, in Troy and Derek. I knew between the two of them, something was going to happen. Or he was going to run something, coach was going to run something for them. You got one of your better free throw shooters at the line.
And a huge opportunity and moment. St. Hilaire makes the first. 20 points in the game now, 7 of 7 from the line after the foul by Reddish. You'd probably like to have that closeout back. If UNO can tie it, though, shot clock will be off, and St. Hilaire does indeed stay perfect at the line, and a chance for the Blue Hose to run the clock down for a potential final shot as they take their last time out in the front court with 25.2 seconds remaining.
Boy, it's a shame to see a loser in this game because both teams have really played hard and competed. Coming out this time out, I've got a feeling this ball is going to get in Harrison's hands somehow, some way. Maybe a pin down by McCormick if McCormick checks in, but I think Harrison is going to be the guy to take that last shot.
Presbyterian with a victory in overtime over VMI on their home floor, followed by a double overtime win over the Citadel, and their third win, a rematch with VMI that again was a 2-point game in the final minute yesterday here at Lakefront Arena. This team has all kinds of experience in close contests where the Privateer wins have been blowouts and the Privateers have not been in a close game in their defeats yet either. So this a bit of a challenge even though UNO has the veteran guards who have been there, done that. Presbyterian has really been there and done that lately.
When you win one or two close games like this, you feel like you can win. But on the other hand, I like UNO's chances because defensively they've done a pretty good job of making stops. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't trap Harrison if he gets it on the sideline or in the corners.
And Harrison will be guarded here by Troy Green. So best on best, offense versus defense. and looking to work it
Told
in
you.
his thrash. And the screen sets up Harrison at half court, and they'll create some space for
Well,
him.
they flatten it out on the baseline to allow him to go one-on-one from the top.
So Harrison running this clock
You gotta
down.
talk.
Tied at 66, down to 10 seconds, and Harrison hasn't started with the rock yet as it's down to 7. Now coming out McCormick to set a screen for him. He gets out of the way. Harrison will launch one and miss it. The follow by Younger is good, and the Blue Hose win it. An offensive rebound, wouldn't you just know? Younger in the lane, caught it in the air, and made the game winner from 13 feet. A massive victory on the road for Presbyterian. They will check the monitor, but it sure did look like they got that shot off in time. The offensive rebound and put back on the miss by Harrison to win this basketball game.
Talking about the microcosm of this game, way this game started, is the same way this game ended. But that definitely was a good bucket.
Presbyterian wins another close one. We'll get it confirmed in a moment, but folks watching our replay knew that was going to be the decision. It's official. A buzzer-beating follow in the lane by Brandon Younger. Just his second bucket wins it for Presbyterian as they improve on the season to 4-2 and stay unbeaten in this UNO Classic. The Privateers drop one at home for the first time this year in fall to 2-4. Coach, this was a highly competitive 40 minutes of basketball, and give Presbyterian all the credit in the world. They know how to pull games out close and late.